Hey, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 803. Happy Tuesday. It's make sure my recycling is out at the curb tonight night. Uh lots of garbage, lots of recycling as I organized my card room, uh cleaned up that, still digging my Goodwill pallet, which is what I'm going to talk about today. Holy moly. It's a good one. So the trash is about full. The recycling is overflowing. In fact, we took a bunch of cardboard boxes to my wife's office and dumped them in her recycle bin. So got to make sure. I have so much I won't forget. It's those casual, like, the recycle's almost full. There's only 2 trash bags in the trash bin. It's those weeks that I forget. This is a week I won't forget. I don't know. Are you having any issues with my stream this morning? Because there's been a couple hiccups on the video I'm watching right there. I did a hiccup. My Wi-Fi, surprise, kind of on the fritz the last few days. It has seemed to be okay down here. I'm getting strong signal according to my computer. It's probably my computer that sucks. But my phone is not capturing the Wi-Fi, and so it's like all of a sudden, it's the Wi-Fi is not working, and there I just froze again. So I'm curious if anybody is. Cooter says the Wi-Fi seems okay. Okay, it must be my computer. I froze again. It's just like little split second. There it happened again. Split second happens. It's annoying. It's like just annoying enough that it's going to be on top of my mind and it's going to throw me off a few times. Let's get into the chat. Jenny, what's up? Always love how collectors can see the best as differently. Yes, that's a great point. We're going to talk about the best Goodwill pallet yet. And some people would probably dig through this and it's like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of junk wax rookies. This isn't. I like one where there was a Mike Trout rookie, or I like the one where there was a whole bunch of football color. Like the last palette had a lot of football color. So that's a great point Jenny brings up. Some would say the Trout palette was the best yet. Some would say the one with the most junk wax was the best yet. It's all good. That is true. In my eyes, some are better than others. This one takes the cake. I brought my box of goodies in here and I'll share. Even hockey. There was even hockey hits in this Goodwill pallet. And I'm only about halfway through digging through this pallet. Paul Heath, what's happening? Ed in the house. Kyle says, based on the thumbnail, looks like some pretty good finds. There's even some NASCAR. I don't know if they're hits. This flash freezing on my video is driving me absolutely insane. I apologize, Kyle. Yes, there's NASCAR. There's some shoe boxes. There, did it again. Like every 10 seconds, it's just like blip. It's freezing. I'm going to be talking about this for an hour. How come my video keeps flash freezing? But as I was digging in to the Goodwill pallet, I think Cooter asked me right from the start, because I can usually get a gauge on how good in my perception of a pallet's going to be based on the loading phase. And because I'll peek, I'll open a box just to see, and if it's a bunch of banged up 91 Fleer, it's like, oh god, that's going to go in the trash. Or if there's a binder I flip through and it's like, oh, there's 2011 Topps update in this binder. I wonder if. Or there's a binder with a page of Michael Jordan. It's like, okay, we can do this. So it's always interesting. There was something that stood out to me. Brand new boxes, brand new BCW white boxes. I don't like to say those 3 letters. Boo, BCW, boo. Storage boxes. When I see brand new shiny white storage boxes, I'm thinking, okay, we might have something here. Or it could be somebody just went out and bought new boxes for their junk wax. Raphael, what's happening? Good morning to you. Jaden in the house. Good morning. Max Fazzo, what's happening? Good morning to you. Welcome to the chat. Good morning, Victor. What's up? Let's see. Steve Ains Comedy is here. What's happening? Herman, good morning. Hobby World. By the way, Herman was live last night. Check him out. He was opening some mail days, some cool stuff. Check out Herman's channel at 3B Collection. Todd Richardson, what's up? Good morning. Cooter's in the house. Where are we at? Let's see. Where are we at? Cooter. Jenny says, Cooter, it's not Wi-Fi, it's Bo. I feel like Max Headroom. It's just a little glitchy. There, did it again. Just every time I move, it freezes. Oh, it didn't freeze that time. Steve says, Jenny, Vic, Herman, Todd, and Bo in the house. Let's see. Herman says, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Ain't that the truth? Jeremy Crawl, what's happening? Good morning. Steve says hockey hits. Isn't that an oxymoron? I thought so. There's a shoe box, and I'm like, I can use the shoe box. And the hockey, I'm building. I was watching Herman last night, and I'm building a hockey quarter box. And God dang it, I am gonna frickin'. Can I stop my video so I can't watch myself, because it's really annoying, but I have to have it to see the chat. It's annoying me. It does it every frickin' 10 seconds. It's like freezing. It's like I'm talking, frozen. Anyway, I'm building a hockey quarter box, and I'm just like hockey. Oh wait, here's an autograph. Oh, what's this? This is different than the others. And then I look at comps, and it's like, whoa, this is really different than this is not going in the quarter box. So then I went back, and I had a whole row from this box, and I'm like, I better go take some of these other cards out just in case somebody's going to find my quarter box and be like, oh, I'm going to buy this whole box. Let's see. Victor wants to know any Blackhawk cards. Yeah, in fact, I think I have some autos in here. So yeah, I'm going to get into hockey, and for as much as I hate hockey, Victor's asking about it. My friend Mark, I'm showing, because my friend Mark, who he made a cameo in my basement during the Couch People Christmas party. So that's he's my new bar trivia partner. So I sent him a picture of some of this stuff, and he's like, before you put the hockey on eBay, I want to come over and check it out because I might be interested in some of the stuff. So it's like, before it even goes to a card show or hits, I have people asking about the hockey. I haven't found any soccer. I'm sure there's a soccer box in there, because there's been a baseball, there's been a hockey, even a NASCAR. It was only one row, and it seemed to be Kyle for the NASCAR. I don't think there was any serial numbered, nothing. And I don't think, is there anything NASCAR cards that are fancy outside of vintage? But there was a couple Dale Earnhardt action packed Braille. And I'm like, I remember, so I'm comparing it to the Jim Plunkett Braille action packed card that was $200 card back in the day. And I'm like, wow, a Dale Earnhardt Braille card. This is going to be, and I look it up. There's one on eBay for 99 cents. I'm like, are you kidding me? A Dale Earnhardt Braille action packed card for $1? So once I saw that, it's like, okay, the rest of this NASCAR is garbage. So Kyle, if you make it up to a Madison card show, I've got some NASCAR for you. Let's see. Ed says, seeing what you found so far, I don't think I could have stopped digging until I got to the bottom. That I actually went out and got more. So I had planned on, I took a big storage tub, because a lot of these boxes are in smaller, 800 count boxes, 500 count boxes, some smaller boxes. So, and the funny thing is, a lot of them were in hockey, junk wax, hockey, empty boxes, wax boxes. And so I'm assuming with 99% of what I get at Goodwill, if it's in a junk wax box, empty box, it's basically somebody ripped open a 91 Fleer and took all the hits. Yeah. Like Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, just the stars, and it's commons. So I'm just like, oh my God, there's so much hockey, because there's a ton of empty, filled wax boxes of hockey, 90 score, 92 upper deck, just stuff like that. So that's where a lot of the stuff was hiding. So I brought a whole tub, and before dinner, I'm digging through. I eat dinner, come back down, turn Herman on, and I'm like, well, I'm going to get through these boxes before Herman's done. I'm going to go up and get more boxes out of the car. So I went and got another shoe box and a couple other boxes and found some more great stuff. I've developed, the older I have gotten, I've become very patient. I've always been like an extremely impatient, like if I would go to Target or Walmart to buy like a blaster box or a couple blaster boxes, I would like have to go straight home and open it. Like I couldn't. Now, I had enough patience not to rip it in the car unless I was like, if I was when I had my my old job at the office, if the cleaners were at the house, I'd go to Target, get a sandwich, and open a blaster box in the parking lot. But that was just because the cleaners were at the house. I have enough patience to drive 10 minutes home and open a blaster box. I don't have to, like, I'm not like foaming at the mouth to get these blasters open. And I can keep like unopened stuff. Like it used to be, if I had any unopened wax, like it could not sit on a shelf unopened. Like I'm digging in, and I've learned patience. Sometimes it gets the best of me, and it's like, I'm going to open that Bowman blaster. Let's see. Kyle says NASCAR is good. What's up, Paige and Deanie Bean? Ed says, oh, we saw that. Bo, will that be a short trip to insanity? Yes. Let's see. Hopefully the frickin' computer, it hasn't happened. The first like 5 minutes of this video, it was like skipping like crazy, like the flash freezing, because it will only freeze for a millisecond. Just enough for me to notice and go crazy. It hasn't done it the last few minutes. So hopefully my computer's like awake and able to keep up with the video. Card Hobbyist says, pause your video. Can I do? I don't know. I can't. I don't have a pause button. I'm on YouTube. YouTube sucks. Here I say it every time. I need to go to StreamYard. I pay for the damn subscription. I use it twice a month. The only option I have is end stream. That's the only option I have. Let's see. YouTube, the actually YouTube streaming platform doesn't offer you much. Like I can't even change microphones during the broadcast. Boston Smoke in the house. What's happening? Yeah, Jenny, where is Low Roller Scratcher? I'm going to talk hockey. I'm going to show off some hockey cards. Where he at? Put a piece of paper over your screen, dummy. That's actually a good. It's not freezing, but hey, there you go. Oh, I can so. Maybe if I put like several pieces of paper, put another one. There you go. Perfect. Let's see. Where you at? Where you at, Low Roller? Put a piece of paper. I'll take a dip after your buddy on the Blackhawk cards. You got it. Dan, what's happening? Dan in Korea. Kyle says those Earnhardt Braille cards are cool, but unfortunately not valuable. Yes, I will buy that stuff next time I see you. The funny thing is most NASCAR cards are not valuable. I'm like, ooh, hey, shiny prism. It's worthless. Zach says, this is your greatest pallet. You won't know dollar-wise until sales are final. The perceived value is the best quantity. Other pallets were saved by a few bangers where this had many. That's a great point. There's Low Roller Scratcher. That is a great point. And I want to talk about just perceived value of a pallet, because I typically have like a perception right off the bat. Usually they send me photos of like, here, we've got a pallet. Are you interested in this one? And like, I'll look at it and it's like, yeah, there's not much in there. The funny thing about this one, like it came 2 weeks after. Man, I'm getting hit from all sides to the start of the 2023. Rockford Card Show, boom, 2 weeks, back to back. Goodwill Pallets, bam, 2 weeks, back to back. So I almost didn't buy this one because I still have a gigantic box in the back seat of my car that I haven't, because it's so heavy. I don't want to carry it in the house. I've been like I filled a 4-row box. I might have to fill another one because it's probably close to 100 pounds. And I'm basing that because of I know how heavy the bags of salt, the 50-pound bags of salt, and I think it's heavier than 2 bags of salt. Still in the backseat of my car. Less 4,000 cards because I filled a 4-row box, or 3,200 cards. So I still haven't even finished the last pallet. And I'm like, you know what? I can't, even though I'm talking about I need to get rid of this, this, and this. I need to get rid of bulk. Here I am bringing more stuff home, but I'm glad I did. Low Roller wants to know, did I list more hockey in his eBay store? I did not, but I will be. Stay tuned, Low Roller Scratcher. I'm going to place show and tell. Jenny says, not yet, but he got some hits. Bowman U trainee patience. Yeah, 50 Bowman U blaster boxes sitting behind me. Very patient, waiting to be opened. I think I have 1 blaster box of Bowman U football left. I do. I have one football and 1 basketball, just all lonesome. They're joined by some friends. A blaster box of NBA hoops, a mega box of Donruss, and a couple of Overtime Elite Topps Chrome blasters. Let's see. Where we at? Harlan in the house. What's up, Harlan? Zach says, happy Tuesday. What did you pick up this week for your baseball, basketball, and football PC? Anything fun? Flipping Sports Guy says, got a fun order to pack today. 50 cards, all 95 and 97 tops. Those are great. Love those orders. Let's see. You should list NASCAR cards due to the Daytona 500 this month. Let's see. Zach says, solid idea. Are you doing that on ComC? Thanks for sharing. Michael in the house. Michael, I understand you will be set up at the Madison Card Show this month. Scott, let me know. Good morning, Huddle Card Collection. What's happening? Jenny says, do you not own a dolly for moving card boxes? That was a quick purchase for me years ago when I started getting bulk. I do. It's at the new house now because I had to unload the hood range thing. But it'd probably be easier. So in all honesty, it would be easier for me to move the heavy box, just carrying it in, or, taking an empty 4-row box, filling a 4-row box in, and doing it that way, as opposed to a dolly, because I've got to take it from the garage up about 5 steps into the house, and then through the house, and then down into the basement with a dolly. And that's just, it would be easier for me to carry it. There's really not an easy option. Fortunately, the new house, I'll have stairs straight into the basement. I'll still have stairs to deal with, but at least it's like I can back into my garage and boom. If I don't want to carry it down steps, I can use the dolly because it's a little easy, straight shot. And you're probably thinking, well, you just said you don't want to take a dolly down the stairs. The stairs at my house currently, I have to go in the garage. I have to like make a turn to get up like 4 or 5 steps into the mud room. And then there's another turn into the mud room and then through the house. And then I've got half steps coming down this way and then a turn and then the other half going down the other way. So at the new house, it's just from the trunk of my car, hood, SUV, whatever, straight steps all the way down into the basement. Low Roller says, great time. List LeBron James since he will break the record this week. I do have some LeBron James ready. I've got Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. By the way, Low Roller, come on, Super Bowls this week. I got to list some Super Bowl cards. I've got Mahomes. I've got Hurts. So I'm going to be listing those this week as well. George, what's happening? Huddle Card says, moving all those 4 and 5 row boxes will be one heck of a leg workout. My back is killing me. Like I make every day the groans get louder because I've been moving so many gosh darn boxes in the last 2 weeks between pallets, moving this crap around, card shows, another card show this week. Just as I finish unloading the pallet, I'm going to put all the bulk so I can get the bulk moved. It's kind of stressful. Speaking of stress, The new house. So we had the fireplace install yesterday. The plans were a bit off, so it had to be reframed, and then it had to be, I guess, framed in after the actual fireplace was put in. Then we went into the bathroom, the master bath, and where the toilet sits, the wall was too close. The plans were off on that also. So that basically everything that was framed out on Friday has to be torn out and reframed this week. So dun, 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 there we go. So moving right along. Where are we at? Jenny says, this sounds like a box you should go sit on your new house patio in a month and look through and say, the heck with getting downstairs at the current house because it has to go back up in a few months. And that's once the basement is drywalled and my flooring is in, I'm going to start taking stuff to the new house. So that's kind of the plan, but that won't be until, fingers crossed, that will be end of March, early April that I can, actually March is a pipe dream. I would say April, mid-April, where I can start, things will be in order. I can at least get a head start on things. Let's see. Augusta Lawn Care, what's happening? Good morning to you. And yes, listed all my hurts Monday and Mahomes today, tomorrow that I got at the show. Very cool. I found, just as I was organizing, perfect timing, I found a box full of Jalen Hurts rookies and some other quarterback rookies. And then there was also a stack of Mahomes in there as well. So great timing. So let's see. Herman says, after last night's mail day, the Braves boxes will need to be the next thing I need to tackle. There you go. So this Goodwill Pallet, I tend to have an idea of how the Goodwill Pallet will be, will look. Let's see. Rich Klein says 9 likes, 49 people. Terrible percent. Thank you. We're at 9 and 51. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Thank you. Highlight of the show was at the end. Found a slightly dinged up 75 O.J. Simpson, a damaged 78 Staubach, and a damaged 1948 Bowman Mini in a 20-cent box. Nice. That's the thing. Like what somebody said earlier, like one man's trash is another man's trash. Like some people like, oh, there's a crease in the 75 O.J. Simpson. Well, for a quarter, hell yeah, I'll take that all day. 78 Staubach. If there's a ding, boom, I'll take it. For a quarter, hell yeah. Good morning, Terry. What's up? Augusta found a dinged 75 Fran Tarkenton that already sold 2 hours after I listed it. Oh, man, love those wins. Love them. So with this Goodwill Pallet, like when I see, and usually what I show you is kind of how they display, Goodwill displays the pallet. And it's got like sprinkled like, ooh, there's a Bo Jackson shoulder pads card and a blah, 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 vintage here, vintage there. This one actually had like a sandwich bag of 70 tops, which I'm like, oh, hey, even, 100 cards, 50 cards, that's going to be, those are dollar bills all day. Stack of dollar bills right there. And of course, sometimes, like with this one, I think there was a really beat up Roger Maris, 65 tops. I could tell it was a little dinged up based on the picture, but then when I actually picked it up, it's like, oh, this isn't really. I put it in my store, beat to hell, Roger Maris 65 tops. Put it in my store for $2.50, and it's sold in like 10 minutes. So I looked at, I'm like, oh crap, this isn't like a short print or something, right? So I looked it up, and it was. I priced it really well. Like even in that condition, it's still a $5 to $10 card. So somebody got it for $2.50. That's why. By the way, link to my eBay store is in the description because a lot of times I don't comp. And so when I don't comp, you get deals. So make sure to follow my eBay store, like it, do all that stuff, buy from me. have fun, enjoy your cards. Let's see. Jenny says, who's buying from his vending machine in his house? Neither my wife nor my dog will be buying baseball cards out of a vending machine. Mark says, good morning. What's up, Mark? Getting decorations today for my Super Bowl party. Very cool. Robert, what's up? Good morning. Love the show. I missed out on your Boomer Esiason lot. Should have offered higher. I was considering. So Robert was the offer. I was sitting on that. I would have accepted that offer. But I had just listed it. So I was going to give it the full 24-hour run, but I was reorganizing my room. By the time I went back to like check my offers, it had already expired. And then shortly after, somebody bought it at full price. The same buyer came in, bought all my Boomer Esiason rookies, and all my Bernie Kosar. And I think 2 of the Esiasons had already sold at full price. And then, so, I mean, that was like I had them priced at $5 a piece for Boomer and 3 for Kosar. So I think it was 11 Kosars for $33. I think there were 8. So $73. By the way, those all came out of this Goodwill Pallet also. That's $73 sale, gross sale of $73. Well, plus the Esiason. So over $80 in Boomer Esiason and Bernie Kosar rookies. And I think I found 2 more Boomer rookies. By the way, Robert, since you're a good, let's see. Robert said, I offered 30, hoping you'd counter at 40. Well, if I would have known that, I would have totally countered, because I almost accepted 30. It's like, to sell all of them in one transaction. I just wanted to give it an extra day since I had just listed them. Just for you, show special. After this show, I'll put one. I think I have one. I'll put one up at $3 shipped. I think I have one, maybe 2. I'll put one up at $3 shipped just for you. So I'll do that right after this show. Let's see. Low Roller says, talking about vending machines. Don't want to do vending machines. Where are we at? So usually I can tell like a Goodwill pallet. Like when I start unloading, Ed is the guy, and I'm getting to know all the people at Goodwill. Ed is the guy that brings the Gaylord out. Hell, I even know Brad the FedEx guy, because he's always Brad the FedEx guy is picking up as I'm picking up at the same time the last couple times. So Ed brings out the pallet. He's a big wrestling fan, so we talk wrestling. He loves Danhausen, so we talk AEW. And as I'm like unloading the Gaylord and putting it in the back of my car, I kind of can tell, like, usually, I know what they sprinkle on top just to bait you, the little carrot, like, ooh, a baggie of 70 tops. And actually these 70 tops that were in the sandwich bag are actually in pretty good condition. And I've sold a bunch. I sold a bunch out of my eBay store. So I'm like kind of, if there's binders, sometimes I love the binders. Because a lot of times what I see is it's a kid's collection, and like the collation of a binder is fascinating to me because it takes me back to my childhood and like when I was 8 or 9 years old and how I curated a binder. And there was no rhyme or reason. And usually it was, okay, I got a pack of 88 tops and I just put the 88 tops in. And then if I get another pack of 88 tops and then I start curating, okay, I like these cards. I want these cards on this page. I want these cards. I want some balance. I don't want all commons on this page. I want some balance. And then I would go through a binder and I'd pick out like my favorite card on each. This is what happens when you're an only child. You make up games for yourself because you don't have a brother or sister to either torture or get tortured by. So you take your baseball card binders, you flip through and you make your own games. So that's what I would do. So when I go through these binders, and many of them, it's like Tyler's cards. One box of this palette says Papa's cards. So and Papa had some really crappy cards. Papa, your 91 Fleers suck. So it's fun going through these binders and seeing, oh, wow, like how the pages are curated and, what was going, like, why did you curate your binder like this? I'm going to go to the chat real quick before I get to my next thought. Rich says, not only they age, sweet spot for collectors, but we still hear him in the mornings. Flipping Sports Guy says, is it bad? My first thought when seeing Lita last night was, wow, she got big. Maybe. I did not watch wrestling last night. Cooter. Oh, man. Okay, before I continue talking about the pallet, Cooter brings up the J word. Got a letter in the mail from Dane County yesterday. And we need to have plans for that week. So, yeah, I got a letter from Dane County. My first ever summons to jury duty. Dun, dun, dun. April 3rd, the week of April 3rd, which coincides, damn it, with the Baseball is Back Club 400 party, which is Thursday, April 6th. So hopefully I can go in and get dismissed like day one, or hopefully like when I call, like I think you have to call the week before. There's a whole page of instructions. I have to go online, fill out a survey, then you have to do something else. Then the week before jury duty, you have to call to see if you're wanted for jury duty, not for the trial. So when my wife got home yesterday, I'm like, guess what I got in the mail? Guess what her first answer was? More cards. No, not more cards. Jury duty. And the smile on her face should not have been that bright. Like, haha, sucker. So she goes, you're going to get picked. And I'm like, what? Why would you say that? She's like, I just know you. You're going to get picked. And I'm like, no. I don't want to get picked. Unless it's like a fun case. I don't know. Is there a fun, like really, is there a fun case? Like it doesn't matter what you do. There's nothing fun about court. Nothing. It's like going to the DMV. There's nothing fun about going to the DMV. Much like court. There's nothing fun about court. That's why judges always look pissed off. And attorneys look pissed off until they get their paycheck. There's nothing fun about it. Everybody's grumpy. It's the worst place ever, the courthouse. Everybody's pissed off because it's court. Ugh. Jury duty. Yeah, April 3rd. I need to find something to do. So any tips to get out of jury duty, please drop them in the comments or in the chat. Red Light 34, what is up? Yes, Mike, Red Light 34 got some 70s out of my store. I'll be shipping those out today. Augusta says, I forget who, but one of the YouTube guy collects marked checklists because he knows it was part of someone's collection and was genuinely used for that purpose. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. You know, one of the pallets had like a huge box of just absolute beat up football cards. Let me see if I can find. Here we go. Let me make sure. This tab 9V. Remember that. Like, look at this. Leroy or Ernie Green. Just absolute beaters. Look at this. Art Graham. Just creased all to hell. These actually sell like crazy. I mean, it shocked me. Like, I had beat up football cards, like an entire row of a 4-row box filled with beater 60s football cards. And nobody touched them for a quarter each. But people are buying them for $1 after tax. It's $1.60 or $1.70. And sometimes I'll sell 10 at a time. So like people missing out on the quarter boxes, I guess. And I even had a price point when I first took them to a card show and I had them in my quarter box. I'm like, somebody's going to offer me or going to want to buy the whole, and they're going to ask me how much. So I'm going to be prepared to sell in bulk. Not a single person even looked at them. And I think I took them to 2 or 3 shows and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put these through into my eBay store. And now all of a sudden, boom, 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 sale. I did have one person send me a message and they're like, just being a dick about it. Something like, take this out of your store. It's going to be burned, or you should burn that. And so I responded for $1.50, you can burn it. Let's see. I had younger siblings and still constantly went through my albums and cards, making games out of it. Heck yeah. Do you ever think about selling Goodwill pallets at Shop Goodwill auction? I don't think you can do that. Let's see. I don't think. Maybe you can. I don't know. Is low roller on the bride's payroll to come in here and keep redirecting everything to sell? BD Cards asking if I can postpone my jury duty. I don't know. Can I? I don't know. This is my first. I think I was summoned in my late 20s. For whatever reason, my address was still in my my hometown, like where I grew up, but I had lived. So I grew up in Anawan, Henry County, Illinois, and I had been in Macomb. Where's Macomb? For like 10 years. And for some reason, wherever they take jury duty from, my address was still my hometown address, but it got me out of jury duty. And I guess it prevented me from jury duty in the county I was living in. And I just like I think I called the courthouse and I'm like, I haven't lived in Henry County. I live in Macomb, McDonough County. I can't do jury duty. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll mark you off the list. I'm like, oh, that was easy. So I guess I do have experience. But I've never like now it's like I live here. Now, how do I get out of it? I can't claim that I live in another state or county. Let's see. Claim a hardship. You're self-employed and the only employee. That might work. I don't think that worked for my mother-in-law, though. My mother-in-law got picked for jury duty. She got out of it. And I mean, I knew like if you, I don't think anybody knows my mother-in-law, but if you, even meeting her one time, you'd be like, oh yeah, she's getting out of jury duty. I don't know if Uncle Rich is still with us, but my mother-in-law is your typical Jewish mother. So I know Uncle Rich will understand. Let's see. Just tell them you think all jaywalkers deserve life in prison. And I've seen some pretty funny cases in court. Some people really make you shake your head. Dan says, at least this summons didn't conflict with spring training. Yeah. And I think my wife's like, are you going to be here? I'm like, I'm always here. I'm always here. BD Cards. I got on a good case once. Flooded storage unit. Owners called each person, but they tried to sue the storage facility because they didn't show for 24 hours. Interesting. Jenny says, tell them the Bears are going to win the Super Bowl next year. They'll find you unstable. You know, the more I read another article that the Bears are like likely going to sign this wide receiver, and I'm like, oh my God, they might be even better than I think. The Chicago Bears. Don't get me down that path. Augustus says, I always just send them my military ID, and after about 10 times, never got summoned again. My wife just got one, and I told her wait till the last minute and make a doctor's excuse. Ooh, yeah, there's a good one. BD Cards then complained, why didn't you tell us? It was comical. The folks suing. She did have to get a note, but it worked. I wonder how many times doctors get notes can you get me out of jury duty? Kyle says, when attorney asks if there is anything that could prevent you from being fair and impartial, just say no, unless the accused is a Cardinals fan. Then I know they're guilty. And the judge would probably scowl at me. Don't make a mockery of my court. What's up, baseball card curmudgeon in the house? Dan, what's happening? How many cards do you put in a PWE, and do you put them in semi-rigids between a piece of paper? Great question. I max it out usually 10 to 12. And I do put them in the card savers, and I can fit 3. These are the card saver ones, I think, the wider ones. And I fit 3 per card saver. So I go 3, 3, 3, and 3. So up to 12 on 3 ounce, and then 3 ounce postage for $1.08. Cooter says, would love to see the attorney's faces when Bo explains he sits in his basement all day, sorts baseball cards, and talks to his computer about random subjects for an hour and a half every day. That might work. We're getting somewhere. We're getting some good ideas. D Palect says, you were an ideal juror. Just show up and be the complete opposite of the way you are on Hobby Evolution. Let's see. Military and fire EMS. Where are we at? Is an automatic excuse. They aren't smart enough to realize it's a retired military card. Buy a refundable plane ticket for your jury summons. You're out of town. Hey, that's John. That's a great idea. You can get out of jury duty. You tell them, I am scared of facing people. I don't know if that's going to work. When I was working in corrections and got called for jury duty, I would show up in my uniform and would get excused before I even got in the door. I think it's a crime in itself to pose in uniform for me, since I'm not since I sell baseball cards on the internet. If I showed up in a uniform, military or police or fire, EMS, that's a no-no. So I can't use that one. Bruce, what's up? Where are we at? Bruce says, watch out. The court case might be a dispute over a sale of a pallet of 90 Donruss. Hey, I'd be interested in that. Was summoned twice, Dan says. Once while I was at EIU and was excused. Other time I made it to a jury box, questioned and excused. Think because I worked for a medical insurance company and the defense being sued crossed me off the list. Dan says, do you sleeve all the cards you put in a PWE? Yes, I do. I penny sleeve them and then put them in card savers. Robert says, so how do you package when shipping multiple cards in a PWE? What's the max number of cards that can ship in a single PWE? Max I do is 12, and that's in penny sleeves, and then 3 to each card saver, so a total of 4 card savers. And then I important thing is that's why I use the longer envelopes, because you can fit, the card savers side by side, so 2 and 2, so it's nice and balanced. And then 3 ounce for postage, which is $1.08 on the standard envelope. Augusta says, seriously, you only get in trouble for no-show if you send any semi-legit sounding reason, like literally the day before. The worst they can do is reschedule you. Let's see. But they have so many people scheduled, you usually just get dropped. Interesting. Dave, what's happening? Do Goodwill stores have cards, or do they as pallets? It's both. Some do pallets, some do cards in store. It just kind of varies. Let's see. So there's some hockey. I was going through and I was just putting like every another jury comment. I got called last year. My wife knows the state's attorney, so I had an out. But after hearing about the case, I wanted to be a juror. More than likely, you will sit there and get $11.76 for your 2 hours. So I was going through, I was building quarter boxes last night and digging through my latest Goodwill pallet. And I talked about scratching the surface when I load up my car. I kind of have an idea of what a good pallet is going to be, but a lot of times the good stuff's hidden, which was the case in this particular pallet. As I mentioned, some of these cards were in like junk wax boxes, like 92 Upper Deck hockey. And as I open it up, it's like, oh, wow, there's a Jose Canseco rated rookie in this box. And then I dig in and there's junk wax rookies all over the place. And it's like not a like Jenny mentioned at the start. Haven't found any big $500 cards, but I found a lot of $5, $10, and $20 bills, which I'd rather, that's my bread and butter, baby. So I was going through hockey and just listening to Jeremy Lee from Sports Card Live. I know a little bit about hockey. And so I've heard him talk about PMGs and jambalaya, Dunkin' Go Nuts for basketball. So there was a jambalaya, and I'm like, oh, jambalaya. I've heard of these. I don't know. This is Ryan Miller of the Buffalo Sabres. I'm not sure if it looks really fancy. It's like, oh, wow, it stands out. And then I'm going through, there's a bunch of 2013-14 Metal Universe. And I'm like, oh, wow, this one looks different than the others. It's Cam Neely, and it's red. And I always forget about precious metal gems. And then I look on the back, and it says 35 of 75 PMG. I'm like, oh, There's only one listed on eBay. None have sold. The one listed on eBay is PSA 8, and I think the list price is $180. The thing is, I don't know the difference between a 6, 8, or a 10. This looks pretty sharp. I would say it's not going to 10. I don't know. Maybe it's a 9, 9.5. Maybe it's a 6. I have no idea. But I think, generally speaking, a raw card, as long as there's no there's no scratches, there's no dings, there's no creases, I think a raw is going to sell for higher than an 8. But again, there's no sold prices to base that off of. So I have no idea. It might only be 100. But it might be 150, 175. I have no idea. But so I'm going to put this aside. I might just put it in my eBay store and put it at a high price. I might just match the PSA 8 price and put best offer and just kind of fish for offers. Let's see. So we're looking at hockey right now. So again, that was from 2013-14 Fleer Metal Universe. Then there was some Fleer Showcase numbered. This is some hot prospects of the Detroit Red Wings, numbered out of 299. Adam Almquist and Alexei Marchenko. I have not heard of either of those. Baseball card curmudgeon says show up in a baseball uniform. Low roller. Yeah, there's actually quite a few young guns. And I put a bunch in the quarter box, so I probably should because I don't know hockey. I have never heard of them. They were not like major, they were not Crosby, Ovechkin, the new guy, the latest hot prospect. Nobody I'd heard of. But that doesn't mean I don't know hockey. I've heard of 5 players. So that doesn't mean anything. So I should probably go back and look, pull the young guns and just look so I'm not selling a $20, $50, $100 card for a quarter. Let's see. Augusta says, on my weekly little known facts for this week is Eddie Murray holds the record for most assists for first baseman, is one of only 6 players with both 500 home runs and 3,000 hits. Excellent. That's good little trivia. Harlan says price it at the same cost as the 8. I think that's the plan. I think that's what I'll do. I think that's a good idea. Most RBIs by switch hitter in history, and most in history hitting both sides of the plate in a single game, also had the record. Second place now. So here's a Fleer Ultra rookie numbered out of 499. Sean Monahan. I don't know who he is either. This is a fancy looking Fleer Ultra. This is numbered. Oh, this is really low numbered out of 25. This is not sleeved. I need to get a penny sleeve on him. This is numbered out of 25. It is Anze Kopitar of the LA Kings, and it's numbered out of 25, whatever that parallel is. Hockey hits. Let's see. That's just a base. Here's Brendan Gallagher. That's numbered out of 499. Rookie. Alexander Barkov, another numbered out of 499 rookie. Then we've got some, I think this is an RPA. Numbered out of 375. Ryan Murphy of the Hurricanes. Another appears to be an RPA of the Buffalo Sabres. Rasmus Ristolainen. Oh, and there's some multicolor patch. And that one is, that's base. That is not numbered. That's pretty fancy. Let's see. Here's an auto. Ooh, this is low numbered. This is numbered out of 27. Red Glow. Matthew Dumba. This is pretty scratch. This is got some scratches, I think. And then somebody was asking, Victor was asking about Blackhawks. They must have gone to a minor league all-star game because there's a bunch of in-person autographs. One's Corey Crawford. I've heard of him. I think he played for the Blackhawks. This is an AHL card, in-person autograph. David Bolland. There's actually a couple of his. 2 of them. Pekka Rinne. I think I've heard of him. Pekka Rinne. Milwaukee Admirals autograph. Let's see. Oh, this is a Blackhawk. Martin St. Pierre. Martin St. Pierre. Let's see. Oh, another Blackhawk, Steve McCarthy. Oh, there's a couple Steve McCarthy autographs in here. These all look to be either in person or TTM, I'm assuming in person. Here's another Blackhawk autograph, Craig Mills. These are all part of the Goodwill Pallet. Here's another Blackhawks auto. There's two of them. Remy Royer. Never heard of that guy. There's two of them. Here's another auto in person. Marcel Hossa. Marcel Hossa. I've heard of Marian Hossa. Does he have a brother? Let's see. Oh, here's another Hossa. Oh, and this guy played for the Blackhawks too. Marcel Hossa. He is the younger brother of Senators superstar Marian Hossa. Here's another. Oh, there's three Marcel Hossas. Oh, there's four. Four autographed Marcel Hossa cards. And then the last one. Let's see. Here's another Blackhawks auto. Matt Keith. I wonder if they went to like a Blackhawks convention or Blackhawks convention or something. Matt Ellison Blackhawks autograph. Here's another Blackhawks. Brandon Bochenski. Parkhurst. Those are cool cards for hockey. Here's a Fleer Metal Universe Wayne Gretzky. I've heard of that guy. This is the 2013 Metal Universe. And then a couple Flair 96-97 Fleer Flair. These are probably, I don't know, $2 cards. I have no idea. Again, I don't know hockey. So those were some of the hockey hits. Let's get hockey out of the way. Let's go to the chat, and then I'll show off some of the baseball cards. Let's see. Low Roller says sell the Young Guns at $250 each. The commercials always said Bo knows how. Doesn't he know hockey? I know. I don't. Sell that Neely to Eric Wade. Sanderson to Orr. I feel like it would be more time savings to just eBay comps sold Young Guns by set you have and sort high to low and scan to see which names sell high. That's what I've done in the past with like hockey and soccer. It's like I'm not going to go through and comp every single one, so I'm just going to look up names. And I think I did that with hockey, Young Guns, because I actually opened some hockey blasters during COVID. What year was that? 2020, probably. Let's see. Make sure to turn on global shipping. I do have global shipping turned on. Let's see. Typically buyers don't like global shipping though. Let's see. Marian Hossa is in the Hall of Fame. Zach says this is what we've been missing with no hockey card talk. 608 says good morning. Love the hockey cards. Should play guess the player with these zeros all around. Nobody's a winner. Those medals are popular too. Rep and Rajon Rondo. Any Maple Leafs? I don't think out of these there wasn't. But there's probably some Maple Leafs. What are your thoughts about selling in-person autographs that you did not acquire? Basically, selling as is, buyer beware. The only thing, if it's guys like Marcel Hossa and they're in minor league uniforms, like I'm going to assume it's a legit autograph and it looks real. Like dealing with that's actually a really good question, because dealing with these Goodwill pallets, there's a lot of like, how many of us as kids would do fake autographs on a card? I did a lot. Like, and it was not in like a mischievous way. It wasn't like I was faking autographs. It was just like, oh, like we always thought it was cool to like sign our own name. It's like, oh, I'm going to sign Marcel Hossa's name. So I see a lot of that in like, Tyler's cards. And then there's a Kirby Puckett. Like, that's not a Kirby Puckett autograph. But if there's like, if it's random, like Kevin Bass, I think there was a Kevin Bass and some other random player. It's like, this is a legit autograph. Like typically you can tell. And I'm going to assume people aren't forging Kevin Bass autographs or Marcel Hossa minor league autographs. But sometimes when we assume, that's not good. There's one that came in this Goodwill pallet that I'll probably tweet about it later today. It's John Elway, and it's a John Elway autographed card. but it's like an in-person TTM type of autograph. That I'm hesitant to sell. Kevin Bass, Marcel Hossa, Gary Varsho, I'm okay. $2.50 on eBay. John Elway, Marion Hossa, superstars, I'm more hesitant on stuff like that. Let's see. Robert says, I'll take the Jambalaya and PMGs if you decide to sell. Yeah, I'm gonna be listing them in my eBay store probably next week, I would say. I'm still in organization phase and going through this palette, so I'm gonna kind of hold off before I list a lot of this stuff. You would save a lot more time if LRS just gave you a price that he can mark up, you sell to him, and he can flip. Good idea. Low roller, let's do it. Good morning, Brian. What's happening? Low roller wants to know if I found any Pokemon in non-sports cards. No Pokemon, and I think they typically pull Pokemon and sell separately. But I usually find non-sports cards. There's been some pretty cool non-sports cards in this palette. There was a box of non-sports I'll have to share on Twitter. Let's see. Now that LRS has you listing hockey and soccer, moves to his next influence, Bo agenda. Pokemon and non-sport. Right. Let's see. I'll give up my chance at the Neely PMG to BD cards. I can't believe there's this much demand for hockey. Maybe Low Roller's been right all along. Maybe I should start selling hockey and soccer. Look at all this demand. Let's see. So that was hockey. I'm just gonna. So basically, look at the thumbnail to see. I mean, I've got 2.5 rows, and many of these are junk wax rookies of like Cal Ripken Jr., Tony Gwynn, Kirby Puckett, Don Mattingly. There's even there were a couple Xander Bogaerts rookies. I don't know what the price is on that, but here's Wade Boggs, 83 tops. Here's a couple 82 Fleer Cal Ripken Jr. rookies. These were in a Goodwill Pallet. 82 Donruss, Cal Ripken Jr. rookies. 385 tops Kirby Puckett rookies. A couple of Fleer Puckett rookies. Here's a second year, but it's 84 Donruss, Tony Gwynn. 84 Fleer Darryl Strawberry. I bet there's 20 of these. Those sell for about $7. Here's an 84 Donruss Ripken. Here's a stack of 80 tops Ozzie Smiths. So that's second year card. Second year Ozzie Smith. Here is a stack of Boggs Fleer rookies. It's about 10 of them in there. Let's see. Here's a couple Donruss Wade Boggs rookies. Here's a couple Sandbergs, a couple Donruss and a Fleer. I've got to set those aside in my Cubs collection. Here's a Fleer Gwynn rookie. Here's a whole bunch of Donruss Gwynn rookies, about 10 Gwynn rookies from Donruss. Here's a Topps Tony Gwynn rookie. Here it's some 90 Leaf Larry Walker rookies, not bad. Here's a Chipper Bowman. A bunch of Mark McGwire rookies. Here's a Fleer, 87 Fleer update. Fernando was actually trending recently. He is having his Dodgers jersey retired. Let's see. Oh, here's a couple other Bogaerts, Xander Bogaerts rookies. Let's see. Where are we at? Another Fernando. Couple of Griffey 89 tops tradeds. How about this? These are $10 bills. Bo Jackson shoulder pads. Actually, might be 15. Bo Breaker. That's the poor man's shoulder pads card. Here's a Fleer, 87 Fleer Bo Jackson. Rated rookie Bo Jackson. 84 tops Don Mattingly. Another rated rookie Bo. classic Ken Griffey Jr. For some reason, this Rusty Kuntz actually sells really well on eBay at $1.50. Here's a Griffey 89 Donruss rated rookie. This actually looks fake. Oh, maybe it's just faded. I don't know. That rated rookie just looks off. I don't know. The reason that I noticed that is because there's an 84 Fleer update Roger Clemens that is obviously fake. But the rest of these are legit. Barry Bonds, 86 Donruss, the rookies. Here's a Bo Jackson Sport Flicks. Couple more Bows. 89 Score Griffey. Dave Parker rookie card from 74 Tops. Tops traded Bo. Another rated rookie for Ken Griffey Jr. Here's a stack of McGuire. About 20 of them in here. The rookies, Mark McGuire from 87 Donruss. Ooh, I didn't realize this is the O-Pee-Chee Darryl Strawberry. Another Mattingly. Couple Ken Griffey Jr. Bowman rookies. This is just half a row, by the way. Here's a couple Fleer Mattinglys. Here's some 84 Donruss Strawberry rookies. More Fleer. So that's just scratching the surface. An amazing Goodwill pallet. And I still have half my car loaded with boxes. I'm hoping there's more. The reason I think this is a little different, a lot of the Goodwill pallet cards are like Timmy's collection. And so a lot of it's like Timmy's collection from 1989. And then what I've been seeing a lot recently is 2021 Donruss football, basically people buying up blasters, and I see a lot of blasters. And then they're pulling the hits, the autographs, and the rest. Even rookies of like Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, they're just putting them back in the box and donating to Goodwill. That's what I see a lot of. This one I think is different. I think this is a dealer who, I don't know, maybe passed away, maybe just said, I got rid of all the really good stuff, and this is just the junk to him or her. Because there was one box that says unpriced stock, and it was a shoe box. And that's where, I don't know if it was hockey or NASCAR or whatever it was. Actually, no, it was a mix, because there was a 78 Topps Eckersley that was in there. So it's and I know there's at least, I think, 2 more shoe boxes. And I don't know, a lot of this stuff was most of the really good rookies, like the Mattinglys, the Bows, and the Griffies. Those were in like a Proline Portraits football wax box, empty wax box. So, so that's kind of, and there's a bunch of those. But there's also like 91 Fleer in some of those boxes. So it's going to be fun to go through, and I'm looking forward to, I've got some shipping to do. And then I can dig in some more, and maybe tomorrow I'll have another update with, hey, look what else I found in this Goodwill pallet. The one that I almost passed on because I just bought one 2 weeks prior. One more wrap in the chat, one more lap in the chat, and then we'll sign off for the day. Let's see. Robert's going to give up his chance at the Neely PMG to PD cards. I'm in on the Rasmus Dahlin auto. Your vintage hockey card is popular in your store. All of that sounds like Bo's bread and butter. James in the house, he says hockey is not overprinted. James, if you're a hockey fan, I'll have a quarter box of hockey in Rockford this Saturday. Augusta says, I have a serious question. I could literally list like tons of cards for one player in a variation listing as I approach my 10K limit. Does it make any sense? Let's see. I would say no. I would say you should have 60,000. If you have a 10K limit, if you have a store, your limit will be 60,000, not 10,000, because you get 50,000 free listings in additional categories, and sports cards fall in additional categories. If you have the premium store, that's the level I have. So I would say you're better off not listing. I don't like variation listings. Unless it's I will say I don't like variation listings for that particular thing. What I do like variation listings for is 1981 tops, 82 tops, like commons. Now, I wouldn't say 81 tops football. I would totally do a variation listing if I was running low on free listings. I would do an 81 tops football variation listing, but any superstar, any Hall of Famer, I would list separately as a separate listing. I would not include in the variation. I would just use the variations as commons. I think it's great for like Topps Archive sets, Heritage. There's a lot of Heritage set builders, Allen and Ginter. The classic set builder sets, I would do variation listings because shoppers that would shop variation listings are likely set builders, but player collectors probably aren't going to waste the time looking through variation listings, or team collectors. So that's what I would say. Let's see. Low Roller is the Columbo of the show. Let's see. Augustus says to pay triple for a bigger store or just list tons of items like that. And you may have already said, I've got to know which level store you have. So let me know what level store you have, and then I can go from there. I can give you a tip from there. Rep and Rajon says, title tomorrow's show, Botox hockey, and see if anyone shows up. Might just be me and Low Roller. Looks like there's a couple hockey people in here that are interested. Let's see. Big Chunkas, what's up? When are you putting those Gwyn rookies up? Probably next week. Probably next week. I won't be putting any of these rookies in my store. Andrew says, oh my gosh, this is from the most recent Goodwill Gaylord. It is. It's been amazing. Augustus says, my football bow sells very well. Haven't sold a single baseball one yet. I move Bo Jackson cards pretty well. And they, it's pretty consistent too across the board. I don't have as many football as I do baseball. Let's see. Flipping Sports Guy says, Bo baseball flies off the shelf whenever I post it. Let's see. Bruce says Puckett graded 9 should be about $80. I've sold out of Walter Payton. Surprised how fast all of his sold. Where are we at? Let's see. Low Roller sold 4 cards on ComC this month. Last month I sold 15. Well, you're trending upwards. Because we're a week into February and you've sold 4, so you're on pace for 16, which is more than 15. Let's see, math with Bo. Christian says hockey collector fan base is rabid. Do not sleep on this. There's Low Roller's ComC store. Did your NASCAR card did well on eBay since you listed them, but you run out of NASCAR in your store? Kyle keeps buying them, which is good. Let's see. Augusta says that reveal was super cool to see. Were all these baseball rookies sleeved or not in the pallet? They look to be in good shape. So they were some sleeved, some not sleeved, but they were stored in boxes. It wasn't just loose in a garbage bag. So they were stored nicely. Let's see. Robert says there are a lot of hockey fans and collectors. Soccer, not so much. Soccer and F1 just went, because I get a lot of interest in soccer at card shows last year, and now it's like nobody even asks. Let's see. Low Roller says maybe he got the basic store for 10K free listings. Let's see. Augusta says basic store is 10K for $20 a month and premium is 60. Dude, pay 60 a month for 50,000. If you can list them fast enough, it's well worth it to pay $60 a month. As long as you can keep up with it and get to that point, I would go over your 10K because there's I can't remember what the break-even point is before, whatever $40, take $40. It's probably like 100 or 200 listings. But go to like 10,100 or 10,200 and pay those insertion fees and then flip it up to the premium store. It's well worth it. And you get an additional $25 in supplies, as long as you can manage the amount of listings and make it worth your while. it's definitely worth it. As opposed to trying to do variation listings, I wouldn't do that. I would not go that route unless you're listing sets. Unless you're listing like Heritage, then I would do that. But if you want to do like player listings and a variation, I would not recommend that at all. Flipping Sports Guy says I should be upgrading to Premier next month. Just crossed 5,000 listings yesterday. Excellent. Robert says that is a crazy loaded pallet. It is. It's shockingly loaded. Let's see. Augusta says, because I have players like Farr, Falk, etc. I literally have 1,000 of each. I would not do variation. I would do quantity. Like if you have 10 1991 Fleer, who did you name? Lawrence Taylor. Do in quantity, like 1991 Fleer Lawrence Taylor, quantity 10. Do it that way, but I would not do variations. Let's see. I guess by the time I'm selling at 10K plus level, an extra $40 a month will be nothing. Yeah, as long as you're, selling 40 bucks is nothing when you're, listing that type of volume. Let's see. Flipping Sports Guy says pretty much, especially if product is moving and not sitting. That's the key. Price it to sell, and it'll more than make up for it. Let's see. That's what sucked when I got to my 250 free and had to jump to 10K. Wish the basic $5 a month store had a few. Yeah. It really does. The levels. It sucks that it jumps so fast. Kind of like where, if you have a premium store, it goes from premium store at $60 a month to like $300 a month. It's like, come on. I wish there was like another step in between to make this transition a little easier to take. Christian collects 80s hockey and Red Wings. Very nice. So that's what I had for today. Stay tuned. I might have more goodies to show off tomorrow as I continue to dig through the latest Goodwill Pallet. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be back on tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. Again, reminder, I'll be at the Rockford Card Show this Saturday in a lot of new stuff, like all new quarter boxes at the Rockford Card Show this Saturday, including a hockey box. I'll have a hockey quarter box this Saturday. So check me out at the IBEW Banquet Hall this Saturday in Rockford, Illinois, 9 to 3. The Madison Card Show is coming up in just over 2 weeks, February 25th. We'll be sold out, 125 tables, free admission, 9 to 3. I will not be set up, so you'll have to come see me in Rockford. But I will be set up the following day on the 26th in Janesville. So I guess I do get 2 shows this month. So with that, I'm out. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. We'll see you tomorrow.